Hey everyone, this is General Romulus. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to get into one of the most widely owned stocks with the retail crowd, a company run by a clear business genius, controversial over the years, but you can't argue with the results. That's right, we are going to be looking into Tesla. Well, they're doing a lot more than just making cars these days, aren't they? And that is one of the reasons why we need to tear into this electric beast. You were looking at a picture of the chart of the Tesla stock. That's right. This is weekly, so each one of these bars, red and or green, represents a full week of trading. So we have a lot of data on the screen. This goes back over 4.5 years of trading activity. The stock hit an all-time high back in November of 2021, over 4 years ago, $415 a share. Took a while to get through there. It didn't get past there until about a year ago. And then it went up a little further, $488, back into a pretty deep correction mode. Some of this action over here, well, most of it actually, created from the tariff situation in late winter, early spring. Then, like most of the stock market, Tesla has recovered quite nicely. This is where things start to get a little more interesting. Let's expand it. The stock went through a nice consolidated period over here earlier in 2025. That resolved bullishly to the upside, and despite bears' attempts to bring the stock back down, they weren't able to bring it decisively too much lower, especially below this consolidated period right here. Now, as this selling was taking place, people were all talking about the end of the tax incentives and tax benefits for buying electric cars. They ended September 30th. These were made known in late spring, early summer, specifically with passing of the big, beautiful bill and other proclamations from the Trump administration. And so, yeah, it was pretty obvious that retail car buyers were going to be front-loading and buying electric cars to get the benefit, but then we all knew what was going to happen. Electric car sales would start to really come off a cliff. But as that was going on, Musk, the genius that he is, shifts the investor focus away from electric cars. They're still selling a lot of them. It's still a vast majority of their business. He starts talking about the Optimus robot. One in every home. Probably doubtful that they cost $100,000, but even if the price gets cut by 60, 70, or 80% with economies of scale, that's still an expensive little toy to have around in your house. It doesn't matter if the toy's too expensive or not. Musk, according to this chart, has clearly convinced traders and investors that the Optimus robot, along with one other piece of the puzzle, and it's not the robo-taxis, one other piece of the puzzle is worth taking Tesla stock not just a couple of dollars up to a new high, but to significant heights never seen before in stock market history. Now, will Tesla take off like this rocket and challenge some of the best in the world? Or will Elon Musk's lovely cash, soon-to-be cow, just go down in some flames? Always remember, everybody, I'm General Romulus. I'm not a stockbroker, investment advisor, or giving you any type of financial advice whatsoever. These videos are all made for educational, entertainment, informational purposes only. Okay, so here we are back to the Tesla stock. Again, weekly, we have a lot of data. This is showing pictures all the way back, over 5 years ago of data trading on Tesla stock. And you see, it forms a really deep impression on the downside. And then we have, for the most part, a series of higher lows going on. When stock is getting drilled, somebody or somebodies are right there bringing it higher, not allowing the stock to go down to new ultimate lows. And as we mentioned a minute ago, this consolidation period here resolved powerfully to the upside. And now we're dealing with something a little bit different. Tesla stock has tried to challenge these highs set about a year ago a couple of times in the last few months. it seems to be poised for another attempt at a breakout. Now, common knowledge, a few months ago, Tesla shareholders passed a resolution granting Elon Musk the largest pay package of any CEO in corporate America history, $1 trillion package. Now, this is not just handing him a check for $1 trillion. There are a ton of performance barriers that he has to cross over and incentives that he has to satisfy in order to see that $1 trillion. A big part of that over the next 8 to 10 years is just the stock itself going a lot higher. Yes, there's cash flow metrics and earnings, growth of revenue and so on, but a lot of it is just attached to the stock price getting higher. And so he has a strong incentive to see this stock go. And if it's going to go higher in 8 years, it's got to start somewhere. And why not right now? This is an area of bullish possible breakout. You see, it's made a good deep sell-off. Another one here, resolving to the upside again, and another one here. And these recent sell-offs, after they break out, they do see significant upside. Another interesting point of this recent trading activity is over the previous 3 weeks, stock's gone higher and volume has gone higher. That is a bullish configuration. Volume and price moving in tandem. And here we have a daily chart. As a matter of fact, looking back to really early June, the volume profile of Tesla has been more bullish than bearish for sure. A breakout above this yellow line, and it is trading slightly above it right now, but a convincing breakout above this yellow line, which is an area of resistance dating back last couple of months to early October, and we get another volume expansion like we saw Friday, and like we've seen on other areas where the stock is broken out, would be much more convincing and suggest not only $500 a share, but perhaps a significantly higher price as well. Something that breaks out of a long consolidation like Tesla for the past 4 years typically has a lot of upside. Again, not just $500 a share, but this could be the move that really gets the $1 trillion pay package in the true motion that Elon Musk needs it to do. Okay, so where is this wrong? What happens to price if there is no pending breakout and no massive upside move over the next several weeks, months, or years for Tesla and Elon Musk? What if this really is about to go down into a just historical tailspin and turn into something that we talk about in the history books, but not in the future books? First point right here, about $384 a share, significant drop from current levels, but that would suggest that things are not quite as robust on the bullish side as what the bulls would like them to believe. That puts the 200-day moving average in close to direct contact, but more importantly, it starts to knock more of that shine off of it because that creates a lower high, because these highs recently didn't eclipse the ones from the last couple of months, and that would put in a lower low as well, creating a new downtrend that might take a significant amount of time, energy, and number of years for Tesla to break out of. Now, here's the final reason we alluded to earlier in the video about why possibly, we don't know for sure because we're not on the heads of all the traders and investors around the world, but possibly why Tesla stock has been performing well lately with probable, the odds in their favor of this upside breakout coming in the near future. Elon Musk, the founder of many other companies, in addition to being the current CEO of Tesla, started a company called SpaceX. There's talk on Wall Street about SpaceX becoming a publicly traded company. Right now, it is privately owned. He owns a chunk of it along with many other private investors. The current valuation of SpaceX, according to recent deal book calculations, is about $400 billion. Now, the discussions about a public offering sometime in the first half of 2026, they're talking about SpaceX coming out at a value of $1.5 trillion, almost 4 times current value. And the discussion is that Tesla is taking a stake, an investment in SpaceX, which it currently doesn't have. And if they're getting it at a $400 billion valuation, and then in a couple of months, that value goes up by 3.5 or 4 times just because of the magic of Wall Street financial shenanigans, perhaps? Well, that would certainly help the valuation of Tesla as well. I'm not exactly sure at this point how the value of SpaceX goes from $400 billion to $1.5 trillion in only a few months, but that's not important. What I think or research that I uncover about that is irrelevant because it's just all about the trading and investing. Elon Musk, again, has talked the investing trading crowd into a probable breakout, and that looks to me where the stock is going. Okay, this is General Romulus, and that's my ancient Roman take on Tesla. You want to drop any comments, communicate about this further? Just send me an email directly. Would love to hear from you. And I am heading back to my chariot. Oh, we've got a lot of stuff happening in ancient Rome right now, in the Forum, in the Colosseum, in the circus, and I'm not going to miss one sword swinging bit of it. And as always, what do I love? Consistent returns, regardless of market direction. Talk to you soon.